So I started Taekwondo on September 1968, 68, in my hometown, Appingedam in Holland. After playing soccer for many years, I was 15, and on my way back home I saw some people in some white kimonos doing some action, and I went there to look, and I loved it, I liked it, and that's why I started Taekwondo. My first teacher was called Jan Seveer. He was a brown belt, because in those times there was no red belts in Taekwondo, because most of the people were coming from judo. Okay, because Taekwondo was only 2 years old in Holland. It was introduced in 1966, and I started in 1968. So I'm one of the oldest ones that practice Taekwondo. My first championship was a national championships. It was held in Delft, in the south of Holland, and I was a blue belt. But the championship was for brown and black belts. But my instructor said, okay, you are good enough. We put you a brown belt, let's say red belt, and you join the championships in your category 62 kilogram. So we went to the championships, and I arrived in the final, and I won the final. So I was specialist in my back kick, was my specialist. I started to have my own club in my hometown, Appingedam, like always. And that time I also had my own business. I had a cafeteria, so I was very busy with everything. In 1 year time I had about 150 students. It went very, very well. But I also, in that time, I was still competing. I won the national championship 7 times in a row. And then in 1977, in 1976 was the first European championships in Holland. I became European champion. I was the first European, and I became first in the lightweight class to 63 kilogram. And then in 1977 I did my last national championships as a competitor in sparring. 1978 I did my last championship in Holland as a competitor in patents. Why? Because I had many good students. I was a 3rd degree at that time, and I decided to stop competition because I wanted to dedicate all my time to my students. So I stopped very early competing because I had too many good students, and I didn't want to be, egoistic. First time I met General Choi was in Germany, in Stuttgart, because I went to Germany 3-4 times a year to train, because in Germany there were Koreans with higher degrees, like let's say 5th, 6th, 7th, was 1 7th degree there at that time. We talk about the 70s. And I was, as I had my own business, I had money to travel. So I went by car. And one time I was 2nd degree. I was training there. And at one time during the training, the master stopped the training because the general came there to visit. So we stopped everybody, and then the door opened and the General Choi came inside. I did not realize that he was so little, yeah, that could be the founder of Taekwondo. And that was my first time I met a general, and the general went in front of all of us, and we sat down, and he started to talk about Taekwondo in Europe. And also he didn't know that I was from Holland, he didn't know that I was there. And then at one time he spoke about Holland. So my ears went like this, you understand, no? And he said something about one person in Holland that was a 3rd degree that didn't know the patterns. So he said it was time in Holland that there also should be some higher degree. So there will be people in Holland that will be promoted to 4th degree. And then he named also the person. So I raised my hands, and the general said, stand up, say who you are. So I stand up, I said, I'm Wim Bos, I'm from Holland. And I said, General Choi, but is it possible that someone that doesn't know the patterns can become a 4th degree? That was my first impact with the General Choi. It was a nice impact, I never forget in my life. I was a rebel already at that time. Of course, in the beginning, when you have your career in a national championship or you become a European champion, you are nobody for general Choi. You become someone for general Choi when your degree grows, no? So until 1992, I was not very much considered. I was a 6th degree, but I was considered because in the 80s I brought my national team, in the world, the Dutch team was a famous team because it was a very good team, very strong team. So the general always had some concern because I was the coach, okay? But until 92 in Korea we had the World Championships. I was a coach, I did not work for the ITF. But in 92 there was such a big mess in that championship that I decided not to be the coach anymore and I wanted to start to work for the ITF. So in 92, 93 I started to work in Europe for the AITF as a tournament director. General Choi got to know about my work, and then when in Russia, when there was a big mess with the championship, he asked me to take over. I took over, and from that moment in 1993 I was considered maybe someone that could do a little bit more for the ITF. And from that moment I started to work on all the sheets, the competition sheets, because there was nothing in ITF. So all the forms, there were 17 forms, I all created that. I modified all the rules, added more divisions, how to judge the pattern. In fact, it has been all my job in the past, and still we are working with more or less the same criteria. Then after 93, I got a letter from General Choi, signed by General Choi, Master Leon My Wing and Master Grandmaster Sabir Saleh, who was the organizer of the World Championship in Malaysia, that I was in charge as chairman of technique, chairman of umpire and chairman of tournaments. So that was my biggest, how you say, surprise.
Yes.
The ISC, the most important thing in the ISC is me, because I want to practice and I want to show my skills and I want to have a good relation with the people that are in the course. I want to be a grandmaster, I want to be respected, but I want to have a nice relation that is based that you can ask me something. Not like in the past we couldn't ever ask anything. So it's very important that the people feel there's a good atmosphere.
Yes.
Of course, you go to some countries that you feel a little bit more relaxed. You go to some other countries where they are more cold. I think, but every ISC, it's important that I know how I can motivate the people in the course. Yeah, if the people I can motivate and I can see that they during the course they grow, maybe technically they start to understand a little bit better, but they also grow in their, I want to go for it. That's for me the most important thing. Then the place can be nice, but it's not so important. It's more important the group who's in front of you and what they really want from you, because they want to learn, they want to practice. And therefore our ITF has such a big success, because in our ITF every degree from 9th to 1st, whatever, every person that is present in the ISC has his place. Okay, and that is something that others do not have, in my opinion. I think that everybody that is in a federation that has possibility and that is well known and is well respected should have a goal. My goal in this moment, as I feel very, very young myself, I think I'm also quite in shape. I think that I still want to go about 5 years more to teach. Maybe when I'm 67 I can still think of to be a candidate as a president. I don't know at this moment. Not for the next term, because the next term Grandmaster Trachtenberg, he wants to go for another 4 years, and okay, I don't have a problem, because as a president I can't teach anymore and I want to teach. So, but I think my goal would be maybe, I would go for president maybe one day, but not in the moment. Not in the moment. No.
And after, is the top be president of ITF?
I think the top is to be president, but I don't want to be a president. If I would be president, I want to be surrounded by people that are maybe younger, that have maybe management skills, that are people that I know for maybe 20 years, that grew up as 4th degree, 5th degree, 6th degree, that are very active in ITF. that are maybe ex-competitors, so people that, because we have to make changes, because we cannot always be the oldies directing the youngsters, and the youngsters also need a possibility to achieve what they want to achieve, what I wanted to achieve. Now I have a goal, you have a goal too, everybody has a goal. So if we have well-known competitors like Thomas Barada or other people, David Kerr, there are many good people in the world, like Edgardo Villanueva from Argentina. If there are people that might have a chance, they should have a chance. We should think about them. Don't put them somewhere there and we are always the top. Everybody must have a good chance in their life. Like that. Competition is a small part of Taekwondo, because the majority of Taekwondo practitioners are now children. Okay, children of a very young age. They don't know. They compete a little bit, but they don't know about competition. Competition really starts 14, 15 years old. This is not a big part. The biggest part is the very small kids and the elder people that teach, instructors that are teaching, that are not competing. So the elder people that are not competing, of course, they will have in their school some people that compete. But look in your own gym, how many people you have in your own gym that are really want to go for a world championships? On 1,000 students, you have maybe only one that you really know that one could go, or maybe is able to go, whatever. So I think competition, I love competition, because not only for the sparring, but also competition for the pattern. Because the competitor that goes for pattern skills himself so much that he becomes almost perfect, because nobody's perfect, but almost perfect. And that is something that is so unbelievably beautiful to see. You see a competitor that can hold the leg, that can turn around, and has all the control he needs, and that is such a lot of training involved. Plus, of course, he needs a very good instructor that teaches him the right skills, and then people go ahead. But without competition, there would not be a real Taekwondo. But tradition, of course.
It's like a motivation.
Yeah, tradition, of course, is the biggest part, because the founder, he made the tradition, he made the patterns, and we follow his roots. And when we get older, we all know that we can compete all our life. One day you stop, maybe when you are 30, maybe you're 40, maybe you're 50, but one day you will go for the more traditional part. So, Taekwondo is for everybody. That's nice of it. Well, too close to talk about Taekwondo. Well, what is Taekwondo? Taekwondo is yours, is mine. What do you really want to do with it? How you want to, does it become a passion to you? Or is it just, well, I go to the gym, I just practice a little bit because I like the social life, whatever. It depends a lot on yourself. I mean, for myself, talking about myself, I want to achieve everything what I can achieve. I'm like that. Yeah, I want to be number one. That's always been my character in what I do. If I organize, or if I train, or if I am trained, I like to show that I can do the things. Still can do. Okay, one day we'll finish. So then we will go down a little bit, but we can always practice. So my point of view is to all the people that practice Taekwondo: keep on training, but know about your body, know what are your limits. Yeah? So maybe one day you have to step back a little bit, but doesn't mean that you don't have to practice anymore. And don't find excuses. That's my message.